Here's some big news coming in. Emergency landing at Thiruvananthapuram Airport of Air India Kozhikode Damam flight due to a technical glitch. A technical failure is reported. Reportedly 168 passengers on board. The flight took off around 9:44 a.m. from Karipur Airport in Calicut. It flew around 2 hours before its emergency landing. The flight has reportedly reduced the fuel capacity even before it could land. 168 passengers on board, and this of course has come as a huge alarm bell. Emergency landing at the Thiruvananthapuram Airport in Kerala of Air India Kozhikode Damam flight, and this was reportedly due to a technical failure. And from what we know, 168 passengers were on board that flight that took off around 9:44 a.m. from Karipur Airport in Calicut. It flew about 2 hours. It took off, flew for 2 hours, and then went into emergency landing because of a technical failure. It appears that the flight reduced fuel capacity even before landing. Certainly a huge jolt there to the airport authorities, as this flight that was all set from Kozhikode to Damam, it has landed. An emergency landing has taken place at the Thiruvananthapuram Airport. 168 passengers who are on board, and from what we hear is that the flight reportedly had reduced fuel capacity even before it could land. Shibi Mo is joining us live, tracking those developments. Shibi, a quick word from you. All safe? Everything okay as of now? And tell us what really happened. What led to this emergency landing that's really worried the airport authorities and the passengers alike?
Well, Nabila, from what we are understanding, it was a 2-hour complete panic going on because the flight reportedly took off around 9:44 a.m. from the Karipur Airport in Kozhikode, which was scheduled to fly to Damam, but it had to be diverted considering there was a technical failure. From what we are understanding, it was a tailhead and hydraulic failure. It was a suspected case of hydraulic failure. But again, 168 passengers on board, close to 2 hours. It kept flying around from Kozhikode to Thiruvananthapuram is what we are understanding. It was scheduled to land earlier around 11:15. First, it tried to land at Kozhikode Airport itself, but it could not, and then it had to be diverted to Thiruvananthapuram Airport, where it was supposed to land around 11:15. But again, due to difficulties, due to certain technical complications, it had to keep flying around for some more time, and around 12:20 it landed. All the passengers as of now are safe, is what we are understanding, completely safe, and the emergency landing was successfully done at Thiruvananthapuram Airport.
All right, Shilpi, thank you very much for joining us. I mean, thankfully that all the passengers are safe, but this technical glitch certainly something that Air India will have to take cognizance of. 168 passengers all been moved out and safe. The flight flew for about 2 hours before it went into emergency landing at the Thiruvananthapuram Airport, and news coming in that the technical failure is now being investigated, but certainly comes a huge worry and a jolt for passengers and Air India alike. In fact, the fuel capacity of that flight has reduced. That's what we hear. Even before it could land, the airplane's fuel capacity reduced, and that sent alarm bells. The pilots seem to have made a decision to come back to the Thiruvananthapuram Airport after it took off. 2 hours after it took off, it came back to Thiruvananthapuram Airport, landed. An emergency landing was reported, and 168 passengers were moved out to safety. Those are visuals, brief visuals coming in. In fact, a lot of videos that were taken when the flight returned to Thiruvananthapuram Airport. It set out from Kozhikode, Damam, and now has landed. Passengers are safe.